Hello consumers, this is Altari the Professional Gamer, and we are here for our first of most likely many crafting guides. And in today's episode, I wanted to cover probably one of the most important items for you to craft if you're looking to go out and do some adventuring and some PvE in the Pax Dei Alpha. And the item that we are going to be crafting is called the Gambeson of Aladiah. And this item is going to grant you probably one of the earliest game spells that you can get, which is Divine Heal. And Divine Heal, which I can show you right here, is a very nifty spell. It only costs 20 stamina and uses the Holy Water reagent, only one of them. And it is going to heal a target plus yourself for around 40 to 50 HP, and then it will also grant a couple of seconds of regeneration as well. Both of these are really important when you're taking maybe a larger pull in a dungeon or a point of interest. So this is a very useful spell for you and your friends to have, and it also happens to be one of the cheapest magical items to craft in the game. So I wanted to make sure that we got that information out to all of you, and that is what we're going to do in this video. So we have a couple of the reagents currently cooking up and getting ready to be used, but I figured that before we get into all of that, I will show you all the recipe, and then we'll get to crafting it. So the piece of armor can be crafted in the basic tailoring table, and it is called the Gambeson of Aladiah. So we can see here that the requirements for this recipe are going to be 3 lead, 10 coarse linen string, 6 coarse linen cloth, and 4 sewing needles. And in order to unlock this recipe, all you're going to need to do is find at least 1 piece of lead. Now, you can get lead from basically 2 locations. One is from a drop from a mob, and then the other is going to be from nice rocks when you are mining them. Not the ones that you pick up off the ground, but the ones that you actually go and mine with a pickaxe. And you're going to need 3 of those. The rest of this recipe is incredibly easy to craft. Most likely, if you are going to just get an entire inventory of flax and start your journey down spinning and tailoring, that entire inventory is going to get you enough experience to be able to consistently craft the Gambeson of Aladiah on your first craft. It will also give you more than enough coarse linen string, not only to make the Gambeson itself, but also to do the 2 individual crafts of coarse linen cloth at the basic loom. So that is really important to do as well. And then in addition to that, we are going to need a sewing needle as well. And the sewing needles are going to be crafted at the basic workbench. And all you need in order to craft those is some sewing needles. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can go grab a piece of bone really quick so we can make some sewing needles. And then we will go ahead and get to crafting this Gambeson of Aladiah. Another important thing to note about the Gambeson is the reagent that is required. So the reagent is holy water, and holy water is a very convenient reagent to have, especially for a healing spell. And the reason for that is if we look at its cost in the reagent distillery, you'll notice that it only costs 10 water. Now, water is easily gathered from a water well, and it doesn't take any time at all. And with 10 water, you're going to get 5 casts of holy water. Now, the nice thing about this particular reagent is that it is stackable up to 100 times in one inventory slot, and it does the same exact effect as a small health potion. The only difference is that a small health potion is only going to be on your person, It also has a cooldown timer in your potion slot right here, so you won't technically be able to use it just over and over and over again. And in addition to that, it's not only just healing yourself, it is healing someone else that you have targeted. Now, the spell will go through if you don't have anyone else to target, and it will just heal yourself. So this is basically like a two-way small health potion that doesn't require a potion slot to use, and really the only negative effect is that it does lock your character from being able to move for the duration of the casting animation. So we did grab the bone here, so we're gonna go ahead and head right on over to our basic workbench, and we are going to craft a couple of bone. We're going to craft a couple of sewing needles for this craft, and we're actually almost done. So like I said, you are going to need 6 linen cloth, and we just finished the coarse linen cloth crafting right here at our basic loom. So we'll go ahead and pick those up. And then the only other component that we need for this build is some lead, which I conveniently have located right here. So all you need is 6 linen cloth, 10 coarse linen string, 3 lead, and 4 sewing needles. And then you have everything that you need to craft your own Gambeson of Aladiah. So let's go ahead and scroll down right here, and there we go, it's crafting. Now, it is always good for you to make sure that your crafting skill is at least a little bit over this number. In Pax Dei, it is always possible for you to fail a craft, so don't think it's ever guaranteed. I have failed on far easier tasks, unfortunately. But let's go ahead and get out into the sun here and give this piece of armor a nice old looking over. So this is what it looks like. The weird thing is that when you have it equipped, it doesn't actually show the quiver that is attached to the side, which I find to be a little bit weird, but that is what it is. The fabric gives an electrifying sensation against the skin. So that is the flavor text for the divine healing spell. And then lastly, just to give you a look at where this goes in your inventory slot, it is the under armor slot. So if you do have a breastplate of any type, leather or actual metal breastplate, you will be able to put this guy underneath. It is important to note that this does replace chainmail. So if you're looking for a more heavier armor, this is not going to work. But like I said, this is the easiest to acquire early game spell, and it is super useful for going out and adventuring. I have been using it basically ever since I've crafted it, and I'm sure all of you will too. So the only other things that you need to consider is the other stations to make reagent. So we're going to go ahead and walk right on over to our well, and we are going to grab some water, which, hey, look at what we just gathered. We unlocked enough to get the small health potion. That is because we had a little bit of a reset on our recipes there. But all you have to do in order to craft this reagent is head on over to the reagent distillery, click on holy water, and go ahead and craft. And there you have it. And the cool thing about crafting in Pax Dei is eventually you will get better at doing reagent distillery and alchemy, but at the very beginning you will fail a lot of these. The cool thing is that even when you fail, because you are crafting 5, you'll actually get a couple of them back anyways. So that is all that you need to know for crafting the Gambeson of Aladiah. Hopefully you found this tutorial very, very easy to follow along. We are going to have a lot more of these coming out in the next week or two as we learn all of this stuff as well. And if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video if this is the type of content that you enjoy, and share with any of your friends who are playing in the Pax Dei Alpha. It's finally here, we're all in it, and this is great. So thanks again for joining us in this very short crafting guide. I hope you found it informative, and until next time, I'm Altari, the Professional Gamer.